Hello and welcome to the podcast, where we are here to strengthen music careers and communities one song at a time. And now here's your host, Jacob Wing. Yay!
Hey everybody, welcome to today's episode. Today we got a great interview with one of Montana's fastest and best up-and-coming bluegrass groups, Saint of Soldiers. So happy they came down and did an interview with us. With this interview, we did a little bit different. We had three of them with us for this interview. So I let them take over the interview desk, and I just sat off camera and asked a couple questions to them. So that was great. Be sure to watch the whole thing. Before we get into it though, just so you know, all of their links, if you want to see any of their shows, listen to their music, see the videos they have coming out, or follow up on anything that they talk about, we'll have all those links down below. Be sure to check them out. Give them a follow on all their socials. Give them support and enjoy the interview. Saint of Soldiers.
All right, let's go from the beginning. So thank you guys first and foremost for coming in. Really appreciate that. First thing I want to talk about is, Saint of Soldiers is a group. It's a concept idea, but it all starts with the people involved, of course. So let's talk about you guys and your beginnings. Where did you guys all come from? Where's your home? How did you get to here?
Well, I think all of us are really tied together by Cody, actually. So fitting he's sitting in the middle. He's the one who's kind of met us all. We're all from the Northwest. I'm from Montana. Cody's from Montana. Alyssa grew up kind of...
I bopped around a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you originally from?
I lived in the Willamette Valley in Oregon until I was about 10.
Okay.
And then moved over to central North Dakota and lived there for about 6 years. And then moved to St. Ignatius. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Cody's the one who kind of ties all of our meeting together, including our bass player who's not here today, Spencer Suka. And Cody and I met, I guess, should we start there?
Sure.
Okay. Cody and I met at the Rhino in Missoula. I guess there's a long version and a short version of this story, but I don't know, which one should we go with?
I mean, in short, we both had a kind of a odd transition point in our lives and happened to come across each other. And I was recording a solo album, and Katie had told me she was a vocalist, and so I got linked up with her to do session vocals on my album. And from there we kind of started playing together, realized we loved it, and kind of worked on the project from there.
Mm-hmm. Fell in love doing it.
I was loved it, loved each other.
Yeah, loved it, loved each other. Yeah. Before Cody and I met, I'd never sung bluegrass or country. I guess,
What were you singing before that?
I trained in musical theater and opera for a few years at Flathead Valley Community College. Did musical theater productions and sang classical opera pieces, and just it never quite clicked for me. But after we started singing together or playing together, it really did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then Cody, he was originally a stand-up bass player.
Yeah, I played the upright and guitar most of my life, and then picked up the mandolin after I got back from Alaska. When right after we started the band, I went to Alaska and hit the fishing boat for a season. And,
what years were these?
This was
2 years ago.
2 years. Yeah.
Okay.
Not last winter, but the winter before. So what is that? The winter of 23. Mm-hmm. January of 23 is when I left for the Alaskan fishing boat, and I got back, and we were homeless. And,
Cody and I were homeless.
Yeah, we were homeless for a little window there, and we were in a guitar shop because I was going to buy another Taylor because we were going to do the 2 guitar thing, and I couldn't take my eyes off this little Ibanez mandolin, and I was like, this is what I'm getting, and that's what started the transition into us playing as a multi-instrument group.
Very fun.
Yeah.
Excellent. So your first album you're talking about, and you had your new session work, you guys get together. what did the first album get released? What worked with that? No.
Nope.
So is there
Nope.
some of that album that's passed on through to this next album you guys have coming up?
Nope, only one song that we had briefly touched on where I'd sessioned the entire thing on guitar, banjo, and mandolin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we are redoing that song entirely, and it made its way through. And it was a song Katie wrote before we ever got together.
Yeah, but then Cody and he started, sessioning instruments on it, and we started working on it together. It's called Bone Church. It's track number, whatever, on our upcoming track number 9. Track number 9 on Suit of Swords. And yeah, it's pretty different now from how it was originally.
Our vision was a lot more outlaw country at the beginning. A lot more outlaw country, kind of Red Deer. That's what I listened to. I was cowboying and horseshoeing and doing stuff like that. And I played campfire guitar and was kind of doing this outlaw country vocal thing. And then after Katie met and I had enough people say, you can sing, but she, and I was like, what? I don't even like singing. I don't even like singing, so I'm gonna just quit. So I quit singing, and it was like my favorite thing I've ever done.
He always he'd get so stressed before he had to sing in a gig, like sweating.
Sweat. Oh, I sweat. My glasses would fog up.
Yeah,
and shit.
yeah.
So how do you go from in the outlaw country? What got you into bluegrass?
Well, I actually have a lot of roots in bluegrass as far as what I listen to, folk and bluegrass.
Mm-hmm.
I went through a stint there where I was listening to outlaw country, but it was like a phase in my life that I was, cowboying on ranches and packing mules in the back country and, kind of living fast and hard and stuff. But the bluegrass was kind of a through line that when I started my transition into doing things that were packing in the mountains, guiding elk hunts, fishing, guiding fishing trips and doing all that stuff. I was listening to, I discovered Trampled by Turtles. I discovered, Molly Tuttle, all that, traditional bluegrass. And then I, transitioned into some of the more, folk inspired, folk bluegrass mix stuff, that later on, and then it kind of transitioned from there into outlaw country. But it's just the sound of the mandolin and the fiddle has always been something that has drawn me to that sound. I just feel like it's so much more emotional, and so that's kind of what's always pushed me to pursue things like the banjo and mandolin.
Yeah, that, and outlaw country was kind of his solo vision, and for me, my solo vision was this indie folk kind of maybe indie folk rock influence, and of course I've got the classical influence as well with my vocal training, but then all of that kind of melded together. And you'll, as you can hear on our album and on the songs we have released, we're not pure bluegrass. We've got kind of that indie rock edge, a little Midwest emo edge in there, even, and
the melding.
It is. It's a really big melting pot for all of these, and I think we just kind of, especially us three, because Alyssa's the longest standing member in the band besides us, kind of developed our sound and our writing style as we started playing together in the group. So
nice. Oh, so when did you flip that switch from, we want to put out music, we're doing this thing, to you guys have become more focused, it feels like, and you're really taking this thing head on, When did you decide that this is what we want to do and we really want to push forward with this?
Well, that's all Cody.
Yeah, Cody is the driving force. He's always known.
It's been, ever since we started. When I left for the boat when we were homeless, I was like, I'm going to the boat to start this. This is the beginning of this project.
Yeah, get our nest egg to get our nest egg
to build, because you can't. The people love to romanticize the life of the vagabond musician, but it's not very lucrative, and you can't.
It's not sustainable.
You can't do it the way that you need to make the money you need to survive without an infrastructure.
Yep.
And so, to building, I went, and it just opened the door for Katie and all of her theater and creative efforts in university and even through high school. She did theater through high school, and did musical theater and opera and had been exposed to so much theatrics that it like the infrastructure opened the door for her vision to really take root and, you know, kind of direct us creatively while I just directed us, you know, financially and in the business sense, you know, like I do all the booking and talk all the numbers with people, and Katie does all the planning for, you know, for music videos and does all of our songwriting, you know, and I compose. It's just like I like the building blocks, and she, you know, it's like I'd play with the Legos and she like builds the town. It's like
I always joke, like, because, you know, in the theater world you've got creative director, technical director. Like, I'm the creative director, he's the technical director, and yeah, we kind of go with that model.
Great. That works really good. So let's talk about, you guys have an album coming out pretty soon. I believe May is when the first release is.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. Tell us about the album, how it came together, and where it's going from here, and let us know about that.
Yeah, well, so it's a 10-track album, and it's kind of a concept album. We did not set out to make it a concept album to the extent that it is, but it's called Suit of Swords, after the tarot card, the Suit of Swords, or the tarot cards, like the Suit of Swords in tarot, and it is like each song as we would write it, and we didn't really piece it together till the end and had most of the building blocks. I was like, we did name one Seven of Swords because of like the themes were so heavy there, that and I ended up drawing that card one day and being like, I could write a song about this. We could, like, this pertains perfectly to what we're going through right now. And then Cody and I kind of started looking at all our other songs in the album, and we were like, wow, all of these actually relate perfect. Like Lydia, oh my God, that's number one. That's the first card in the Suit of Swords. You know, just kind of going through and being like, wow, the parallels are uncanny, which I've run into a lot with my practice with the tarot. And again, we're kind of a melting pot because like Alyssa's Catholic, you know, I was raised pagan. Cody's a little bit just like free spirit, but yeah, it kind of all fell into place as a concept album. But Lydia was the one that really opened the door to the whole album being written. It's very inspired by family history, personal experiences, and it is, as we kind of talked to you about during our interview that we did with you last time, like it's very driven. The Suit of Swords is dark. It's driven by, you know, our struggle with homelessness when we first got together, driven by our struggle with having to form a band from nothing and kind of like get this idea like into the universe.
Family history struggles. We have our the third song on our album, I believe, Mine All Mine. That song is about Alyssa's family. And that one's about actually, I mean, I'll let you tell a little bit of this one because it's your family. I had some family that homesteaded out in Kansas during like the Great Depression and during the Prohibition era, and just to kind of take care of the family, but they were making moonshine and they got caught and they kidnapped the revenuer and hopped on a train over to California, and the revenuer disappeared. We don't know what happened.
Oh, wow. Great story.
Yeah.
Leave it up to the imagination.
Yeah. And I mean, a big part of this project for us is like, for me personally, you know, there's been many people throughout my family history who have really wanted to use their art and their creative minds to build a career, but it just hasn't worked out for one reason or another, whether it be like for things that they've done wrong that aren't getting them there, or just circumstance. But like Cody and I, and, you know, Alyssa's in on this too. Like, we want to build a legacy together that can be passed on to our children. You know, we want to take this as far as it can go because like we want to say that we did it. We want to, you know, do justice to the family members that have tried and haven't been able to. And that's especially for speaking for Cody and I, but yeah.
Very cool. So you have the first thing we were just talking about was Lydia. That one's coming out. And then you have some music videos you guys have been doing as well?
Yeah.
Yep, our videographer is my sister Amelia. She does all of our video and photography work as kind of our exclusive, what would you call that? Media. Like, she does all of our media essentially, and she has control of all of the the secondary shooters and all of the people that are helping. It's kind of all channeled and given the thumbs up or thumbs down by her, and she's just insane how strong her vision. It just like she just pushes it through so effortlessly. It's
her intuition is unmatched.
Her intuition is insane, and I mean, she just does it like, she has her one camera that she used for like to monotonously photograph family portraits and weddings for that, and she just doesn't like it.
She lost passion for that.
She lost passion for it, and it's just like, she's never had an outlet that's exclusively creative, where it's like she's creating art with us, and it's just it was insane to see that just like fall into place like immediately for her, and she's just like,
so
in my opinion, I think she's one of the best that I've seen. She just has the eye.
Yeah, we don't have any of her music videos that she's shot for us released yet, because we're kind of building them up and, releasing them on a schedule. But we did finish shooting the full music video for Lydia this last fall, and are finalizing edits on that now to release on May 2nd. And then we actually just did this, and we do work with other people too, especially like for live sessions and stuff like that. Though she does get involved with those sometimes. But we just released a live session with Coulter Olmsted for our original Seven of Swords that I mentioned earlier. So that's
the focus track.
Yeah, that's the focus track for our album. We've kind of got we're Saint of Soldiers. It's Seven of Swords on the album, Suit of Swords, that SOS theme really punching through. Because it's such a dope acronym.
Yeah, it is great. Where did Saint of Swords come from? I mean, obviously, and a bit of Catholicism and all that. Mm-hmm. But what was the choice to go with that? Where did that come from?
For Seven of Swords, or for
Saint of Soldiers?
Oh, for Saint of Soldiers. The choice to name ourselves Saint of Soldiers is kind of, it just kind of, I mean, Cody.
I grew up in Arlene, Montana, so I grew up like in the Mission Valley, and Alyssa works in the Mission Valley. Spencer Suka, he's our bassist. He grew up in Ronan, and really though, I think the real through line that we try to get there, why we chose it, is because that's kind of where Katie and my origin kind of really first started to root, was in the Mission Valley.
Yeah, it was in St. Ignatius.
Yeah, we were able to, find a house in the Mission Valley, and I mean, the town St. Ignatius, where the St. Ignatius Mission Church is the namesake is St. Ignatius, who is a Jesuit saint, and he is ordained as the Saint of Soldiers in the Jesuit order, and that's where that came from. Do you want to talk about that, Alyssa?
Well, I mean, Alyssa. Alyssa goes to church. She works at the church. Yeah.
I mean, that's where Cody and I met. We were at a mutual friend's dad's funeral, and he approached me afterwards. I was singing and playing for the service, and that kind of also ties it all in together. There's just like little strings, and it all just kind of came together there.
Yeah, very tied together by the Saint of Soldiers. And
and it was funny too, because we're sitting in the pews and I'm like listening to the surround sound violin. Just like my first thought was that it was a playback of something, and then I saw her bow and then heard her start singing, and I like could just see the top of her head over all the people. And I was like sitting in this funeral, and my buddy was with me, and I was like, I'm gonna ask that girl to be in my band. And he's like, you can't do that, dude. This is a funeral. I'm like, I don't care, I'm gonna do it. And I did it, and she said yeah, and I was like, whoa.
Like just like that too. Cody was like, do you want to be in my band? And Alyssa was like, yeah, we'll give it a shot.
It's so funny.
Oh, it's fantastic. So you guys have all that coming forward. What else do you have going on? Anything exciting coming up besides, obviously a huge album release, videos? Anything else exciting coming up?
Oh, I mean, we just released Seven of Swords, the live version that you can see on YouTube as well in the in the Paradise Center, the historic Paradise Elementary. We released that live on all streaming platforms, so anybody can stream that. We are kind of in the middle of our big shooting schedule for music videos. So, I mean, even though nothing to show for it quite yet, we're filming a lot. We've got some live sessions coming up. One at St. Ignatius Mission Church, where we'll be performing Wayfaring Stranger and then releasing that as well on streaming platforms and YouTube. And then we've got Cody and I as a duo are opening for Ronnie and the Redwoods at Monk's on March 1st. And what other shows? I'd almost have to like pull out my phone.
We'll have links to everything.
Yeah.
So you can check out all your dates and all that kind
Dope,
of stuff.
yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell the people? If you have this chance to tell them anything you'd like to share? Or?
I don't know. What do you think? I've never had this question asked. I mean, I'm just been like feeling super grateful for how we've been received by our community and by, you know, our fans. That is like so weird to say that we have fans, but, you know, to our fans, and like, you know, we just appreciate you guys, you know, for supporting us through everything and jumping on and joining our mailing list and, you know, sharing our stuff and coming to our shows, even though it's, you know, in little local venues that, you know, call it like charge a cover charge. I know there's been 1,000 times in my life that a $10 cover charge stopped me from seeing a live band, you know, so it's like, I'm just like so thankful that people are willing to come watch us and listen and share and, you know, be emotionally moved by our music. It's beautiful and surreal.
Share their stories.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. So again, everything will be below. Take a look at the links, all that kind of stuff. We'll have a performance for them for Between the Logs. Always check that out. And thank you guys so much for coming down and doing the interview. Really appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
So again, see you the next one. Thanks.
Yeah, sweet.
Sounds good.